Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven, accompanied by Queen Taylor, and we have all the animals in the room. Everybody's awake in the house, and it is in the afternoon for us. So this is a perfect time to record, we think.
Perfect.
Today we're going to be taking a look at the Cockney Rhyming Slang because I want to understand Mickey Flanagan just a little bit better with the spy language stuff. So yeah, with that, you guys, let's hop on over the video and let's get it started.
Hello, YouTube artificial intelligence bots. Please don't demonetize me. This video has nothing to do with Brexit, and there's absolutely nothing offensive about the word Cockney. Today I want to examine a unique and extremely creative form of English slang called Cockney Rhyming Slang. Cockneys are traditionally defined as people living within earshot of the Bow Bells of the St. Mary-le-Bow Church in the East End of London. But the term Cockney has come to refer to working-class Londoners in various...
Do you really have to emphasize the cock in Cockney?
Cockney.
Jesus Christ.
various parts of the city and surrounding areas. Cockney rhyming slang was first mentioned in a book published in 1859 and had probably begun to be used in the 1840s. So what the heck is it? Okay, I'll give you the most basic and cliché example of Cockney rhyming slang.
I went up the apple and pears.
The phrase apples and pears is a substitute for the word stairs. So you take a word that rhymes with the original word and then use it to create a pair of related words. That pair of words now represents the original word, in this case, stairs. Here's the most interesting part. The second word of the pair, the one that rhymes with the original word, is usually left out, as in, I went up the apples. But how are you supposed to know what it means? Well, originally this kind of slang was not meant to be understood by everybody. It was created by street merchants and criminals in order to prevent other people from understanding what they were talking about. But it soon became...
So it is actually a spy language.
I mean, essentially, yeah.
A covert language.
Covert, yeah.
I wonder how...
They're like, we don't want them coppers to get us.
do you guys say coppers?
I don't know what they call them.
But I wonder, like, how it stuck around for so long.
I know, for it still to be. It's hard for us, too, because I found myself wanting, I was going to be like, we should guess what it means if they, like, are going to say stuff. Like, when she said apples and pears, I was going to be like, we should guess. But then I'm like, we don't have any idea, though. Because they would just hear, I went up the apples. So we would have to know apples and pears.
Yeah.
To know that it was stairs, which we wouldn't know apples and pears because it's not a quote that we're familiar with.
You couldn't talk to me in Cockney. I don't think.
I could just guess any word that could fill that in and just be like, what could it possibly rhyme with?
Became a colorful form of expression rather than just covert communication. Let's look at some more classic examples. We'll start with the word house. A rhyming word is mouse. A complementary word is cat. So cat and mouse means house.
I went inside the cat and mouse and up the apple and pears.
It's theoretically possible to shorten both of the rhymes and say the sentence,
I went inside the cat and up the apples.
Ew.
But it would probably be said the long way in order to be less confusing. Here's another example using an animal word. The original word is phone. Phone rhymes with bone. What animals are normally associated with bones? Dogs, of course. So dog and bone means phone. So there's this sentence.
Passes the dog.
Meaning pass me the phone. In Cockney speech, sometimes the plural pronoun us can be used with the singular meaning instead of me. Here's one more sort of household object.
I've actually seen the us part before.
Yeah, me as well.
I've seen like people referring to themselves, especially as we or us. And sometimes I use that too.
Yeah.
The whole we being like, I'm talking about I need you to do it. It's actually a form of, in the corporate world, instead of being like authoritative or dictating to someone, you said instead of I want you to do this, it's like we have a problem, not you have a problem, or I want you to do this. It's like we have to do this as a group. So
when I was serving still, I found myself saying it, not all the time. I would either be like, how are y'all doing tonight? Or like, how are we doing tonight? And anytime I would say we, I'm like, why are you including yourself? They don't give a shit how you're doing. Like, you were not part of them, but I still did it occasionally.
Inclusive.
Yeah.
Inclusion. Very cool.
Freezer. A rhyming pair is Mona Lisa. Notice here that in my North American accent, Lisa
Wait.
and freezer don't rhyme.
Yeah.
But the Cockney dialect and most dialects of England are non-rhotic, meaning that the
Freezer.
R consonants are only pronounced before vowels. Freezer in North American English is Frieza in Cockney
Oh,
English.
okay.
And Lisa rhymes with Frieza.
Okay.
I got some hands and feet from the Mona.
This sentence seems a bit strange. You've
Yeah, it
got
does.
hands and feet in your freezer? Well, no, actually, that's another piece of rhyming slang.
Meat. Oh yeah, dog. Meat. I got that. Hands and feet, meat.
Good
From
job,
the Mona,
babe.
Frieza.
I'm still processing Frieza and Lisa and now Mona. It's okay.
The only
I got some hands and feet from
meat.
Frieza, Lisa, Mona Lisa. Okay. It's weird.
Freezer. So Frieza is actually a character in
Frieza.
Dragon Ball Z.
Oh.
It was actually one of the greatest shows of all time. I don't know why you haven't seen it.
No.
The Cell games?
No.
Frieza? Goku?
No.
Gohan?
I know a couple of the characters you're talking about.
Papa? All right. We're going to watch it.
We're not gonna.
Yeah, it's anime. I know how much you love anime. You're just a little anime girl, e-girl over there.
Yeah. That's me.
It's good.
Meaning meat. But speaking of hands and feet, here we have a pair of Germans. German what exactly? German bands, and bands rhymes with hands. German bands refers to traveling musicians from Germany who used to perform in British cities in the 19th century. Another one. Here we have a pair of
Another
plates.
one.
Plates of what? Plates of meat, which of course rhymes with feet.
Plates of
And
meat.
here's your loaf. Loaf of bread, of course. Bread rhymes with head. And here's your boat, short for boat race. Race rhymes with face. And here are your minces, mince pies,
Well, your
which
what?
rhymes with eyes. And this one can be heard all the time. And here's your north.
So, I'm trying to think
North
of
and south is mouth.
north and south is mouth.
What's minces?
minces? Mince pies equals eyes.
I get that.
So minces.
Oh, minces isn't an actual thing though.
Yeah, I think. Well, no, I think in a sentence you could say minces, but you have to think of like minces equals mince pies, and then mince pies equals
Equals-
eyes.
Yeah, it's like math with words.
right. So
It's like break down the fraction.
so
Not my strong suit, you guys.
I'm trying to think of like how I could use. Hey, use your minces to look at that chandelier.
Hmm.
You know? I don't know if that was a good example because I don't think you would say that in a sentence that would indicate that you were looking at anything, right? Like you wouldn't say minces and then look because that kind of
Oh,
is a
so
dead
not
giveaway.
saying the word look. I get what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, I don't know.
You got some sand in the minces.
Maybe. Tell us a sentence,
Yeah, give
please,
us a
if you
sentence.
use Cockney rhyming slang. Rockney Kyming slang. Jesus,
Yeah,
God.
we're in trouble. Guys, we're in trouble. This ain't gonna work out for us.
Yikesy.
Your north and south. In other words, your mouth. There are often a number of different rhymes with the same meaning. Here we have bottle of beers, or
bowl of
King
beers.
Lears,
For
or
your ears.
Lords and Peers. Of course, these all rhyme with ears. So we could refer to your ears as your bottles, or your kings, or
Just
your
get
lords.
everything with the ears.
There are lots of Cockney rhymes
Yeah,
that
right.
include cultural or literary references.
There's a cup and Jeffrey on the table.
Geoffrey comes from Geoffrey Chaucer, and Chaucer rhymes with saucer.
Oh,
Geoffrey Chaucer is called the father of English literature, and is the author of the Canterbury Tales.
I had no idea who
Let
he
me
was.
boil some water in the Hansel.
Hansel
Hansel,
and Gretel. Hmm.
kettle. Let me boil some water in the Hansel.
Which we just bought one. So we could have some property.
Yorkshire tea. Would you have got if they didn't do the Hansel and Gretel? Would you have gotten that kettle?
Yeah, it would have taken me a second. Because I had to think Hansel. Okay, Hansel and Gretel. And then what rhymed with it? Yeah,
Kettle.
that one I would have gotten. It just takes a minute. I have to like think down the line and process.
Cool, because you're not used to it. But I mean,
yeah.
this is how they would say it in a sentence.
Yeah.
In the Hansel,
Mm-hmm.
and then like obviously, if you've been practicing, you would know that Hansel is Hansel and Gretel and
Yeah.
kettle. But
You definitely have to. You'd have to know the term that they were using, and definitely be doing this long enough to just like for it to come naturally to you.
yeah, because it's got like a hierarchy approach where it's you know, sub things. So you have your
Mhm.
top directory, which is Hansel, and then your subs, and then the actual meaning is layered in.
Yeah. And it's
It's-
hard for us because we don't know the reference to a lot of what they're saying. So
Yeah.
it just is like, I'll say wasted on us.
Wasted.
Comes from Hansel and Gretel, which is more like Hansel and Gretel in Cockney pronunciation. And Gretel rhymes with kettle.
Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel is a German nursery rhyme published by the Brothers Grimm in 1812. So here we should note that the T in water, as well as the T in Gretel, is generally pronounced as a glottal stop in Cockney English. So while in some British accents it would be water, in Cockney it's water. And rather than
Water.
Gretel, it's
Water.
Gretel. And we heard the same thing before in the word bottle, which is pronounced bottle.
Bottle.
Other rhymes reference celebrities and influential people.
I've actually heard Mickey just straight up ignore T's before.
Yeah.
Ball.
Wattle bottle.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
They probably would never put the 2 and 2 together. They would just say ball.
That's a
But-
very, I think, stereotypical when you're like doing a fake British accent as like an American, for example. That's something that you're saying.
Yeah. Glottal stop.
Is pronounced bottle. Other rhymes reference celebrities and influential people.
Tell me the babe.
Babe comes from Babe Ruth, the legendary American baseball player.
true.
Ruth rhymes with truth, so this means tell me the truth.
Let's go for a couple of Britneys.
What do you think it is?
Let's go for a couple of Britneys. Spears. Beers.
Yeah.
Britney comes
Oh,
from
yeah,
Britney
Daddy.
Spears, the American pop singer. Spears rhymes with beers, so this means let's go for a couple of beers. From that last one, you can see that new Cockney rhyming slang is being created all the time.
I don't know why I had to just jerk off the world right there. You know what I mean? I was just like, come
We
here,
are
boys.
celebrating.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why that was my first reaction.
Your socks are on too tight, babe.
Was that rhyme
Oh,
for?
Good lord.
Huh? Tight socks. Socks rhymes with.
No. SOS. Oh.
Okay.
Maybe lay off the Red Bull.
But Red Bull gives me wings.
It gives you something.
There are classic rhymes and there are modern rhymes, but whether these modern rhymes are legitimate Cockney rhyming slang or not is up for debate. Some of them are widely considered Mockney rather
That's
than
funny.
Cockney.
Clever.
Mock meaning imitation or fake. Cockney rhyming slang is not only used by genuine Cockneys these days, it has found its way into the speech of people all over the UK and even further afield. And some people imitate a Cockney
here.
accent and throw in Cockney rhyming slang even though they're not from London and not working class. If we take a look at Britney Spears on cockneyrhymingslang.co.uk, we see that opinions are divided over whether this one is classic, modern, or Mockney. I would think that
Okay.
this one should be modern or Mockney, since a classic would be something like apples and pears that has been used for decades. I guess if you like the rhyme, you'd
So we can learn all this. We have to remember that. cockneyrhymingslang.com.uk.
Yeah.
That's sick.
.co.
We could just learn.
Yeah, we'll just study.
We'll just study, learn, come back in a couple of weeks. You guys won't even know what the hell we're saying.
We're gonna be freaking champs.
Yeah. You're going to be like, what do they say?
probably
Like, I gotta watch
classify
a
it as
YouTube video on
modern.
how to understand
If you
them.
don't like it and think it's corny and inauthentic, you'd probably say it's Mockney. So what do I think? Is it modern or Mockney? Well, I ain't British, so I ain't got a Scooby. Scooby-Doo.
Snacks? Oh.
Clue. Ain't is a negative copula and auxiliary verb that originated in Cockney English. Ain't got means haven't got or don't have. There are a lot of Cockney rhyming slang expressions that are
Why did I
rude,
go with Scooby
naughty,
Snacks?
What?
Why did I go with Scooby Snacks?
I ain't got a Scooby.
Yeah.
Scooby Doo.
I know Scooby
Clues.
Doo.
Like, what? How did you get clues out of that?
Scooby Doo clue. It makes sense.
Yeah, if you knew what Scooby Doo is all about.
Yeah. I feel like most people do. But I guess people call him Scooby Doo. You usually just hear him as Scooby.
Yeah, Scooby.
And Scooby, that's why I was instantly like Scooby Snacks instead of Scooby Doo. Because you don't hear his like full name very often.
and downright dirty. We're going to avoid the rated R ones, but the next couple are kind of PG-13.
That bloke over there is a merchant.
Merchant banker. Wanker.
Oh, yeah.
Last night I got a bit Brahms and fell on me Aris.
Brahms and list. Pissed, as
No.
in pissed drunk. Eris. Aristotle. Bottle. Bottling glass. Arse.
That's too much of
Wow,
a
that's
breakdown,
deep.
buddy.
To finish this video, I'd like you to practice the pattern of Cockney rhyming slang by creating your own Cockney rhyme. To all the genuine Cockneys out there, I'm sorry for the sacrilege. I know that I'm encouraging large-scale Mockney, but it's all for the purpose of understanding the pattern of genuine Cockney rhyming slang. So remember the pattern. Take a word.
Take a
like
word.
Socks. Find a rhyming word. Blocks. Add another word to make a pair. Lego blocks. Then take away the rhyming word. Lego. Then in the comments, write a sentence that gives some context so we can guess the word. My feet were cold, so I put on me Legos.
Oof.
Oof.
Be sure
It's
to follow Lang
complicated a
Focus
little
on
bit.
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And once again, thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.
All right, Lang Focus, guys, check him out. Super awesome. I actually really enjoyed that video. I might have to hit him up and be like, hey, man, teach me the ways of Cockney.
Cockney.
Cockney. Be like, dude, I have a whole playlist on this. Just go watch my videos. I know,
Just stay up all night long watching, practicing.
but I still ain't going to get it. Yeah. I mean, I would love to. I think that'd be super cool.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I'm like, oh, it would be so great to learn all these languages, and especially now that we have a young child, because the earlier you teach him, he's not going to know Spanish or French or German or anything worth a damn. He's going to know Cockney slang, and he's going to be speaking that, and nobody else in the world's going to understand him.
Yeah. I mean, you want him to know German or Spanish or any of those kind of languages, but like,
But why do that when you can teach him a
Cockney
language
yeah,
that he can talk to 3 other people in the world?
yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, but that's not, spy language. So
That's true.
I would like to be. It's almost like being able to talk smack. You know how, as Americans, have you ever went to a Chinese restaurant or you got your nails done and there was,
Every time I get a pedicure, I'm like, are they talking shit about me?
are they talking smack? Now we could literally do it to their face using Cockney.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be like one Cockney lady, in the back. She's like, what a goss. I'm appalled.
I'm appalled.
But yeah, you guys, let us know down in the comments what you thought of this Cockney rhyming slang. Leave us some examples, not dirty, PG-13, because there's a lot of C words in this video. And sorry, the wings, it's trying to come out, the Red Bull. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed that video, please give it a like, subscribe, so you can see more of this shenanigans that we do. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.